All right, guys, we are rolling. So yeah, I love this. I love getting a good hike in, getting some cardio in, and talking to you guys. It's one of my favorite things to do. You know, kill two birds with one stone. But I was going to do a live thing, but there's just not any good signal here now. This is, hopefully this lasts, because I've got like 65% battery. This place is called The Ledges. It's another side of Leominster State Forest. I've been up here before, and you get your cardio in, let's just say that. But I have to say, I just love doing this because it blows me away that, you know, a few hundred people may click on this and watch it. I mean, and listen to what I have to say. It's really, I really appreciate it. I swear to God. When I started this, and I know 300 people isn't a huge number, but for me it is. You know, when I first started this, I didn't think anybody would watch. So, and it's funny because I also have an audio version of the podcast, and that's what I started with. And, you know, when I release an episode there, I usually get like maybe 70 to 150 listens within the first month. When I uploaded Joe and Molly from Western New York Bigfoot Investigation Group, which was last week or so, it got like almost 300 hits in the first week. In one day, altogether, I had, man, it was like 800 downloads in one day. I must have hit an algorithm or something, but I mean, it was pretty awesome. Plus, people must have just really resonated with Joe and Molly. Joe had a pretty intense encounter, but is still skeptical with other phenomena surrounding the Bigfoot subject. But Molly's a total skeptic. But I think people really dug that, you know. And yeah, so I have to call him Jeff Harding, who had a really intense encounter when he was a kid. He's supposed to be coming on. I was supposed to call him last night, but I didn't. So I'm going to call him later. Try to get that set up tonight. But I thought, well, I mean, this is, Joe and Molly are like me. They're, or well, Joe is anyway. He's you know, out there asking questions about what he'd seen. I'm out here not trying to find Bigfoot, but trying to find credible people who are into the subject. And that's not how it started. Like I've said before, I just took everybody at face value. And, you know, as time goes on, you start to realize there's a lot of, well, it has a fair share of bullshitters. You know, of course it does. I mean, there's a subreddit called Humanoid Encounters, and some of the stuff in there is just ridiculous. You know, and I'm not saying I don't believe these things exist, you know, that they're talking about, but it covers everything from skinwalkers, aliens, Bigfoot, Dogman. But some of them are clearly lying. Sometimes they'll post a photograph or a video. It's just like, dude, there's nothing there. Or that's a tree stump. Or, you know, the famous one with the thing that was spider crawling and the dog was going nuts. I think it was in Costa Rica or somewhere down there. And the thing looked like what people describe when they're talking about Bigfoot walking on all fours, you know, like a spider, which totally freaks me out. But that did the rounds. I'm sure you've all seen that. But this is awesome because I love going for hikes, you know, especially a hike like this where I get the cardio in. I mean, I do construction, so I'm already like running around like a madman all week. And I'm not one to sit on the couch on Sunday and recuperate. I like to keep going, you know, especially at my age, 50. I wanna keep healthy, you know. So I try to get out as much as I can, and then I have all you guys to talk to on the way. There's some people coming now. I kind of usually shut up because they probably think I'm talking to myself. They don't see the GoPro attached to my solar plexus. Now this is you'll hear me breathing a lot here. It's quite a hike. Hey guys. How's it going? My good. But yeah, this part of the woods, I don't know about activity or anything, but close to here there has been reports and we had a storm recently. Looks like it took down some trees. This won't be a long hike because it's an intense high elevation one, so it doesn't take that long, which is good because I don't have much battery time left. I haven't even eaten today yet. As I've gotten older, even in work, I don't have breakfast anymore, and I'll go till 2 o'clock or something without eating anything. And I was still putting on weight, so I cut the soda out because I was totally addicted to Coca-Cola and chocolate bars. I cut all of that out, and ice cream. I could eat a gallon of ice cream in one sitting, no more. So this is my objective up here, if you can see it. So yeah, go and check Western New York Bigfoot investigation group out. They have a pretty cool YouTube channel, and they approach it from the skeptic's point of view, you know, which I don't think there's enough of. And at the same time, they don't run anyone down, you know. They're just asking questions, that's all. Give me a second, because up here takes it out of you. So, let me see. Sorry, just texting. So I was recently listening to Joe Rogan's interview with David Holthouse. David Holthouse? Yeah, the guy who did the Sasquatch documentary. Cool guy. But, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it by now, I'm sorry, nothing I can do about that. But he, you know, the Bigfoot is suspected of ripping apart these three guys up in Humboldt County, I think it is, in New York. Sorry, California, way up in the north, where there's a lot of weed operations and stuff. And it's very dark, and the legend has it that Bigfoot did it. But, you know, so David Holthouse remembers this from when he was in his 20s, because he was there when the guys came in to say that they had found the bodies. So he goes back to that area and does a documentary on it. It's truly fascinating. But he comes away, you know, and he speaks to, you know, squatchers and stuff, but he comes away still not really believing in Bigfoot, or he's just keeping his mouth shut on the Joe Rogan show. I don't know, but Joe Rogan interjects with just some pretty ignorant comments about Bigfoot's existence. Now, I would have no problem with that if he knew what he was talking about. But he says that, you know, people could be seeing bears because they walk upright all the time, and that Patterson Gimlin footage is case closed, basically, because Bob Hieronymus came out and said he wore the suit, and that there has been no credible eyewitness accounts since the PG film, which is all nonsense as far as the PG film's concerned. I mean, I wasn't there, so I'm not 100% in that, but I don't think just because Bob Hieronymus said that he wore the suit and did a side by side of him walking the same way as Paddy walks to prove his point, I don't think that means that he's telling the truth, you know. So obviously he's not educated a lot in the subject, probably because he's not interested in it. Well, he is interested in it, but he hasn't done any serious research. You know, the guy has so many things going on. It's probably just a passing interest for him. But like most of you watching have dug into this and have seen and heard enough to convince a lot of you. But obviously Joe hasn't done any of that. Some people up ahead. That actually wasn't as hard as I thought.
I'm gonna pull slack, yeah?
Hello.
Hiya.
Can I walk over this?
Yeah, sure.
Some people mountain climbing.
Pull slack, Andrew?
So there we go. It's quite beautiful up here. So, but anyway, he doesn't really seem to know what he's talking about. And he goes on to talk about Gigantopithecus. And I don't know if you've heard the case against the Gigantopithecus theory, but Dave Wilbanks makes a good point where evolution's concerned, that this couldn't have turned into this in such a short period of time, basically. That's my dumb person's interpretation of what Dave was saying, but he says it in one of his videos, Bigfoot and More, check him out. I like to give people a shout out on this because there are so many credible people. Look at this. There are so many credible people on this subject, and I like them to get some traffic, you know, because I think that's important, that we highlight the credible people. I just ignore the scammers. and hoaxers. But yeah, this is pretty high up, eh? I just went past a couple there. They're doing some rock climbing up here. Let me see how much power I've got left on this. No, it doesn't show you when it's recording, but I should have enough for another 10 minutes or so. So I might have I asked Alexander Petikoff, who's a filmmaker and stuff, and if anybody's got his ear to the ground in the Bigfoot world, he does. He's been all over the country and he's met a lot of people involved in it. Very credible, and he has a he has a whole different story about that area that David Holthouse talked about. Holthouse basically said that a lot of the farmers use these stilts with Bigfoot prints and tear up the woods and stuff to scare people away or to keep their workers there. I can't remember which it was, you know, so that they don't go off wandering at night. But Alexander was saying there's reports of people that with wheat farms totally abandoning the whole operation because of Sasquatch activity. So, and I don't know how David Holthouse didn't come across that information when he was up there doing an investigation on this. So that would be a great conversation to have, to get two sides of the argument. I don't 100% believe that Holthouse totally doesn't believe in Bigfoot, but he's probably one of those people that, you know, could very well, but he's afraid of the ridicule, you know. And that's very possible, because he does kind of sidestep it a little bit. Got people coming. Hey guys.
How's it going?
Good.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's in front of millions of listeners. So, you know, he probably doesn't. He's just one of those people that doesn't want to admit to believing in Sasquatch. He's not in that world, and he doesn't probably have a community behind him to support his thoughts on the subject. So yeah, he very well could be just saying that, you know, while having his own secret thoughts on the subject. He's bound to have come across people that he deemed credible up there, and I think he did. But like I say, he kind of sidesteps it a little bit and doesn't really expand on anything. So, very interesting. I mean, you should check that documentary out. He actually, not just about Bigfoot, but he has a lot more stuff to talk about, like infiltrating a group of Nazi skinheads, and he does a thing with tweakers. He doesn't infiltrate, they know he's a journalist, but he you know, does a story, and he stays up for 3 days and stuff with these tweakers. He wasn't taking methamphetamine himself, he was taking something else to keep him up, but I'd like to read that story. Also, he talks about the fact that he was raped at 7 years old, and in his 30s he stalked this guy. He was going to kill him and had plans to murder him, and he was arrested and ended up having, as part of you know, the bargain, he had to go and make amends with this guy or confront him. So pretty fascinating. So yeah, it's a good documentary. Joe Rogan has some good stuff, but when it comes to Bigfoot, he's just severely misinformed, and it bugs me that he has like so many listeners, you know. And I was kind of screaming at the phone. you know, bears walking on two legs could be what they're saying. Yeah, like running full clip through the woods. I don't think so. Attacking people. Look at this, guys. I'm on top of the world. Yeah, so people come here and I don't know if you can see this. People come up here and rock climb. That's about 100-foot drop. I was up here one day and I heard a lady scream, and it sounded like she was frigging getting killed. Just one scream. and it sounded like it was coming from down there. And when I went back down, there was no one around. It was weird. Could have been a big cat. I don't know. But it was definitely creepy. I can't even look over the side, never mind rock climb this place. Yeah, look, there's people at the bottom. Yeah. I don't know if they're coming up or going down. I don't know what way this works, but I could not do that. I've got a fear of heights. So yeah, thanks to anybody who left good reviews on my audio podcast. It means a lot, it really does. You know? I've got a bunch of nice folks listening to me, and you know, since I started this whole Bigfoot thing, I've met so many nice people. People I'll call friends, you know? People who, if I lived beside them, we would be going out for, you know, well, not beers because I don't drink, but we would definitely be hanging out, you know? I don't have a lot of friends where I am. You know, I kind of like my own company, but I just play my guitar. I've been doing that like crazy lately. Really trying to make up for the decades of on and off lost time that I have. And I'm really trying to get my shredding capabilities up. I'm also like rewatching all of Tarantino's movies. I actually watched that movie Signs last night with Mel Gibson, and it was kind of dumb, you know. I like Mel Gibson's movies like Apocalypto and Hacksaw Ridge and stuff. I don't know if he actually, no, he didn't produce this. Chalamet did, and he did a couple of good movies, and the rest of it was crap. It's kind of a dumb movie, you know. Dumb storyline that's been done to death, you know, War of the Worlds type stuff. And I mean, there was scenes where they were watching news broadcasts, and even the anchors sounded like actors, you know. It didn't look like, you know, CNN or MSNBC reports. It was like, it just looked fake. Just checking my phone a second. Oh, so awesome! I've been talking to Alexander Petikoff about coming on to talk about that Sasquatch series and that whole region, and how like the Willow Creek, like the towns around there are like, you know, getting hit hard by the opioid crisis and stuff. It's such a great take. It's like totally. It's got nothing to do with Bigfoot, but Bigfoot is in the story there somewhere, you know, with the growers and stuff and the cartels, and there's just a lot to talk about regarding that whole area and that subject. And, you know, the David Holthouse thing got me thinking about it. So I'm going to do some research and maybe have Alex on. That would be great. That'd be a fascinating interview. I love stuff like that. I love trying to get, you know, just not encounters, but, you know, different stories about, you know, surrounding the whole Sasquatch phenomenon. I just think it's so interesting, you know, because this whole thing has so many little side stories attached to it, you know, and just the human side of it. You know, different people have their own experiences in this field, and it's nice to hear all of them, you know, and then what they did afterwards. And so, like, I started off with authors, investigators, and people with encounters. And then I thought, well, what else could I incorporate here? Even video games, you know, which I'm still trying to figure out. I can't get that Bigfoot game to work on Twitch. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So So I still want to do that. I love true crime too, so there's a true crime element in with the whole, well, it's totally true crime, the whole Sasquatch series thing. But there's also another story in there, and hopefully Alex and I'll talk about that. He'd be a great person to talk to, you know. So I'm gonna make my ascent. It's funny because I usually am totally out of breath coming up that mountain, and it hardly did a thing to me this time. It must mean I'm getting into shape again. Yeah, so yeah, I really, like I say, I really appreciate everybody taking the time to just watch any of my videos. I mean, oh yeah, and I was going to do that whole thing about the train tunnel in Clinton. There's an old abandoned train tunnel, and there's a lot of local lore surrounding it, and I wanted to go into the tunnel, and I don't know how, it's probably about 100 yards long, and it's all full of graffiti and things dripping from the ceiling. It's pretty dicey, but it's creepy. But I want to go through there, walk there and back, and try to tell some of the local lore. So I posted up in the local Facebook group about lore surrounding the tunnel. Apparently there was a little girl's body found in there in the 80s. I don't know if that's true, but I'm sure if that is true, the locals will tell me about it. But yeah, I just love doing stuff like that, you know. Like Old Tree says, you never know what you're going to get hit with next. You know, and I mean, in another life, if I had been more stable in my 20s and late teens, I definitely would have like dove into journalism and stuff, but I just didn't have the resources or the commitment at that age. I was kind of traveling the world and stuff at that age, and career was the last thing in my mind. And then I just kind of moved to America, and I still kind of wanted to do some journalism, but I got sidetracked and ended up in construction because that's really where the money was, and I needed to make a living. So, and I've been doing that ever since, but I've been incorporating what I know in journalism and just into my videos, and that kind of scratches that itch that I have. But I love getting different angles in this whole phenomenon, and anything that's mysterious or, you know, to do with true crime. I find it all so interesting, and I love getting my hikes in and talking to you guys and getting some cardio in, getting out into the woods. If this thing shuts off as I'm talking, I can't see how much battery I've got left, so I'm going to walk you back down. If it shuts off, that'll be it. You know, I just don't have there's no way of telling when it'll shut off. So if it shuts off abruptly, I apologize. Okay, here we go. Let's make our way down. I actually hate these. I hate these hiking shoes that I bought. They'd be more useful for actually trail running. I think that's actually what they are. They are definitely not hiking boots. They've got no grip on them whatsoever. I'll tilt this down a bit so you can see the descent. The good thing about this trail is you can get cardio in really quickly because of the elevation, rather than having to walk 5 miles on a trail in the woods. Man, I've come up here a few times, like close to winter time when it's a bit frozen, and it's deadly. It's very dangerous. I mean, there's a point where you just can't, because the water's coming down here and it's all just sheets of ice. There's no way you could get up here. But in the summer, it's totally beautiful. More mountain climbers coming up here. Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
Have fun.
Thanks.
Nice day for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. All right, so there we go. I'm actually going to walk down to the right on the way back. There's a circular trail that just runs back down the right hand side, and it's not as rocky. It's just more of a trail. I think this is the right way. No, I think I'm going the wrong way. There we go. So I think these rock climbers seem to be a little snooty, right? Anybody involved in something like that, you get I'm not saying everybody is. Hey man. But you definitely get a percentage that are a little elitist, right? Anybody that's into, anybody that's into serious, cyclists, or, these guys, I'm just out here hiking. They're really putting the work in, The place is busy today. I find that sometimes with Harley riders, sometimes you get like a little group of them that are really, anybody that's really into something, they become wrapped up in it, and they think less of you because you're not into it. I remember one time one of the kids said there was a guy on a Harley. He was at the grocery store, and he was parking it up, and the kid goes, I can't remember which kid it was, "Wow, it's a lovely bike." And the guy who's in his 40s or 50s is like, "It's not a bike, it's a Harley." My kid's like 6 years old. I mean, come on. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna call Jeff when I get home and prep for tonight. I haven't thrown up a reminder thing because I wanted to talk to him first. So that'll be coming up tonight. He has quite a fascinating encounter. He actually does some stuff with Doug Hijack. So if he's close to Doug, that's good enough for me. Seems like a nice guy. Long Island Bigfoot's going to be next week because I couldn't make contact with him in time for this week. I live above a bar, and now they've started doing live bands on Saturday nights, and it's so loud I can't do a podcast. And Friday nights and Thursday nights they have bingo and karaoke, so I can't do those nights. The only night I've got left is Sunday, which kind of sucks. So I think that any interviews that I have, they'll be on Sunday nights. And I like doing the live thing. I like getting the feedback. I used to just do it pre-recorded and edit it and, you know, put the intro in and the music. But I just like this way better because, well, it's less work. Plus, I was kind of shy of the whole on-camera thing at first, you know, but I think with COVID, everybody's gotten used to it, you know, because everybody's doing like everything remotely. So everyone's gotten used to the whole Zoom thing. So, you know, when you do it, it's automatically uploaded to YouTube. So you don't have to do any work. Now for the audio only podcast, I have to do a bit of work to get it up there, but yeah, I mean, I don't have to edit anything. I just do it like a Bigfoot Odyssey does it, you know, just hit record, give a short intro, and you know, this thing evolves over time. You find out different ways of doing it, and I like to try all different ways of doing it and see what works. I'm surprised at the amount of people who even watch these kind of videos, because I'm not out here trying to find Bigfoot. I mean, if I come across something that looks very suspicious, I will take note. But I mean, I'm not going off trail and looking for tree structures, you know. I don't know. I mean, if I did, everybody that seems to look for this bloody thing seems to have a hard time. You know, it's like the more you look, the less you find. You know, if I ever have a Bigfoot encounter, it'll be by accident. It won't be because I'm setting up cameras or following evidence, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. Some people have great success, but that's just not my MO. I like doing it the way I do it. Spend time in areas where they possibly could be, and maybe I'll get a hit one day. You know. Am I still recording? Yeah, I'm still recording. Nice. I'll have this up in no time. I'm just going to head home and upload this. And you know, I don't know. I used to like doing the whole putting a nice intro in, which I do like to do with the documentary type things. I might, you know, I don't know. It doesn't seem to matter. I don't know if people like it or not, or if it. There's an X. Nope. Huh. Yeah, I actually did find a couple of structures up here before. I found a little wigwam, really small one actually, which looked weird. It was like about 100 pieces of stick just made into a wigwam shape. Then there was another one way up the trail where the trail kind of went into thick brush, and there was a big tree wedged between the two trees that were at each side of the trail, and it looked like somebody had definitely put them there. It didn't fall there. Now whether it was a human or not, I don't know, but fascinating all the same. But anyway guys, I'm almost back to the car park, and hope you enjoyed that. See you all later.